It's 2012. I think of myself as environmentally friendly. I use public transport. I purchase eco-friendly washing up liquid. I love the idea of farmers' markets and independent stores, although I tend to shop at the supermarket. It just seems a bit more convenient. I bring my own reusable bags to the shops, but I still take a plastic bag if I need one to line my rubbish bin. I marvel at how ridiculously overpackaged everything is in the supermarket as I pile those same overpackaged things into my trolley. I wonder, why doesn't somebody do something about that? But of course, I recycle. I recycle everything. My recycling bin is always full. I feel a little bit guilty about all that waste, but my guilt just seems to melt away once my recycling bin is collected. June 2012, I come across a poster for the challenge Plastic Free July. The challenge is for the month of July to refuse and avoid any single-use plastic. I think to myself, I like a challenge. Sounds like a great initiative. I'm signing up. I'm feeling pretty confident. After all, I'm pretty sustainable already. I take my own bags to the shops. Surely this challenge will be pretty easy for me. I'm feeling pretty good about myself until I get home and I look in the kitchen. There's a lot more plastic there than I remember. I see various plastic bottles lining the kitchen work surfaces. I open the pantry doors. Everything is plastic, bagged, vacuum-packed, shrink-wrapped, Glad-wrapped, bubble-wrapped. I look in my bathroom. Every single bottle, and there are many, is made of plastic. Wherever I look around my home, all I see is plastic. How had I never even noticed this before? The plastic we use today will outlive us. It's strong and it's lightweight. It floats. It blows in the wind. It gets into the environment. It litters and pollutes. It entangles wildlife. And most of the plastic that I'm using is designed to be used for minutes, out of a material that will last forever. As I look around my home, I feel shocked. I really had no idea that there was this much plastic in my life. I feel embarrassed that I'm contributing to this problem. I consider myself to be environmentally aware, and yet I'm really not acting like it. Most of all, I feel determined not to keep doing things the way I've been doing them. I want to do the right thing. I don't want to trash the planet, and the choices I make need to reflect that. There are so many things that I can't change, but I can change my personal choices. I can choose to stop using plastic, not just for July, but for good. Why didn't somebody do something about that? Well, I'm somebody. You're somebody. We're all somebody, and we can all do something about that. We can look at the choices we make and make better ones. Sustainability isn't just about the big picture stuff. It's just as much about the small choices that we make every single day. There are far better uses for fossil fuels than making plastic teaspoons and individual sachets of ketchup. I start looking for plastic-free options. I find alternatives in the supermarket. I discover bulk stores selling goods without packaging. I explore all of my local farmers' markets. I find independent producers. There's far more options than I imagine. As the things I own run out, one by one, I start to replace them with plastic-free alternatives. In the beginning, I choose glass and cardboard and paper over plastic. Glass and cardboard are much heavier than plastic, and for the first time, I really start to notice how much packaging I'm consuming. When you're carrying glass home on the bus or you're hauling it out to the recycling bin, you really start to notice it. I question my choices again. I'm avoiding single-use plastic, But what about single-use everything else? Wouldn't it be better to avoid packaging altogether? To question whether I really need things before I buy them and bring them home? To choose things that are made to last? To refuse and reduce and reuse and repair? A zero-waste lifestyle where nothing goes to waste, no landfill, and minimal recycling. I always thought that my responsibility ended with recycling. Now I realize recycling is a great place to start, but it's a terrible place to stop. There's so much more that we can do. You know the phrase, reduce, reuse, recycle. There's a reason that recycling comes last. In the past, I was proud of my full recycling bin. Now, I'm determined to keep it as empty as I can. Today, 2016, I no longer have a rubbish bin in my home. I no longer need one. I have a single waste paper bin for my recycling, and I fill it up about once a month. I still take my own reusable bags to the shops, but now the things I buy are packaging free. I buy loose fruit and vegetables. I take my own containers to the deli counter. I bring reusable produce bags and glass jars and fill them with dry goods from the bulk store. I have a worm farm and a compost bin, and I compost my food scraps at home. I simplified my bathroom routine. It turned out that I didn't really need the day cream, the night cream, the eye cream, the hand cream, the body lotion, the body scrub, the hand scrub, the shower gel, the cleanser. I never thought of myself as somebody who got sucked in by marketing. But maybe I was. Now, I find that a good moisturizer and a good bar soap is enough for me. I join the library. I borrow things. And if I really need to own them, then I try to find them secondhand. Before I buy anything new, I ask myself, do I really need it? What is it made of? Will it last? Can it be repaired? How will I dispose of it responsibly? Living with less waste is intrinsically rewarding, but there are so many other benefits. I eat more real food and less processed packet junk food, and I'm healthier for it. I support local independent businesses, and I contribute to my local economy. I've learned new skills. Living zero waste has enabled me to embrace my creativity. And I've met a whole community of like-minded people keen to share ideas. I'm not the only person who lives like this. There's a whole community in Perth, in Australia, and across the rest of the world who all share the same values. And our community is growing. Living with less waste is something we can all do. We can all invest in a reusable water bottle or a reusable coffee cup. We can all refuse a plastic straw or bring our own bags to the shops. Simple swaps, quick and easy wins. We all make decisions every single day that have the potential to create waste and the opportunity to avoid it. Yes, we all have different circumstances. Yes, we might not all be able to do everything, but we can all do something. It's not about being perfect. Perfect doesn't matter. I'm not perfect. It isn't about all or nothing. It's about doing what we can. Living with less waste really opened my eyes to the reality that, as an individual, I really can make a difference. I can choose to be part of the problem, or I can choose to be part of the solution. I can make better choices. I can lead by example. I can start conversations. I can show others that there are alternatives, that there are other ways. Actions are like ripples, and they spread. Being part of the solution means changing the story. Imagine a rock sitting here next to me. It's big and it's heavy, and pushing it is going to take a little bit of effort. And tied to this rock, by a piece of string, is a balloon. A plastic-free balloon, it's made of paper. The balloon's there, swaying a little. It's easy for me to push the balloon, but tied to that string and attached to the rock, it really can't go very far. If If I want to move the balloon, and I can't cut the string, I have to move the rock. The big heavy rock is the story, and the balloon is the decisions that we make. All decisions are attached to a story. The story we tell ourselves. I'm too busy. I'll do it later. I'll wait for someone else. Or a different story. I'm going to do something about that. This is important. I can make a difference. If we want to change, we have to tell ourselves a new story. Businesses, organizations, governments, they make decisions based on what they think we want, based on the story we tell them. The current story, that convenience has to mean disposability, that it's preferable to use single-use items and just throw them away than to just wash something up when we're done with it, that people don't care. I say, people do care. There is a better way of doing things. Convenience at the expense of the planet isn't really convenient at all. We can set an example. We can show others it's possible to do things differently, that we want to do things differently. We can tell a different story. We are all somebody, and we can all do something about that. That's what a movement is. Together, we're moving the rock. We're changing the story. Plastic seems ubiquitous today, but it didn't become popular until the 1960s. Bottled water didn't become mainstream until the 1980s. People say that we live in a throwaway society, but it wasn't always like that, and it doesn't have to remain like that. We can do better, we can choose better, and we can change the story. It's time for a new story. Will you join me in changing the story? Thank you.